Hey guys, just wanted to bring you a different way to set up your wacky worms. Not the traditional tube with your O-rings, but just a different way to do it so kind of keeps your worm on there and maybe isn't as costly as buying these little O-rings. So here we go. Well, the traditional way, and here's just a 5-inch thick Senko. Traditional way, of course, is to just slide your worm inside the tube and push that O-ring on there, put it in the position you like it, and there you go. The problem I found with the O-rings is that, of course, you put your hook in there, and a bass, before you hook it, might grab a hold of this worm and not get a hold of the hook. You want to really set that hook, but by the time you do that, what happens is they can pull this worm right out of there. The worms come already slimed, right? And if you're going to add more scent to them, a lot of that stuff's really slimy. It makes it even worse. These worms will slide right out of there. So what you're going to have is you're going to be left with your hook and an O-ring, and that fish is going to take off with that worm. A different way to do it is I use these 1/4 inch and 3/8 inch shrink tube. Come in these packets. They're pretty inexpensive. You can do a lot of worms with them. And what I do is this is a 4-inch, 1/4 inch shrink tube, and I basically cut about a 3/8 inch piece off there. So it's going to be just like that. Let's see if you can see that. Right? Okay. Here's your O-ring. Here's your shrink tube. A little bit difference in diameter. And on this 1/4 inch, what I use those on are your Yamamoto Senkos, the thin ones. Basically, all you're going to do is slide that on there just like that. Get them in the position you like it. Right? So you just need a little heat to shrink that tube on there. Doesn't take a lot of heat. You're not going to be melting your worms or damaging in any way. You're just going to give that shrink tube a little bit of heat so that it really tightens up around that worm. That's all it took. So now what you have is you have that piece of shrink tube on that worm, and it's not going anywhere. See if you can see what that looks like. Okay, so that's the Senko, thin Senko. It works the same, which is a worm that I really like using, is these Zoom finesse worms. Same thing. Take that shrink tube, and that shrink tube slides right on there. Don't damage the worm, you don't stretch it out. Get it where I want it. A little bit of heat. There you go. Like I said, you're not melting the worm at all. You're not damaging it. That's kind of what it looks like. So now what you do, you got your shrink tube on there. There you go. That worm's not going anywhere. Works just like those O-rings. It's just those worms don't slide off there. It doesn't damage the worm, doesn't damage the action. You can play with the thickness of the shrink tube as much as you want. Like I said, that's the thickness I like. I've tried it thicker and I've tried it thinner, and that's kind of what I ended up with. Doesn't take too much. Here you have a Zoom trick worm. Same thing. The Zoom trick worm and the Zoom finesse worm use the same 1/4 inch tube to tighten on there. So if you want to use that wacky, if you want, there you go. What I like to do is I make a lot of them up. So this bag is 3 different colors that I like using. They're already all set up wacky, so I don't have to worry about it. I can just pull and get the color I want, and they're already all set up. Those are for my trick worms. On my finesses, this is the Zoom finesse worm again, and the price of these things are fantastic. The price on this says $4.99 for 20 of them. I picked them up at Dick's for I think $3.87 on sale, and I think that might even be their normal price. But yeah, this is a great worm to get 20 of them. So what I'll do as soon as I pick up this package, I'll go ahead and I'll wacky set up like half of them. Keep the other half so in case I want to use them for drop shot, I still have I can use it either way. I do a lot of wacky fishing, so that's why I do 50-50. And the same thing with my Yamamoto, the thin Senkos. The only thing with these is they're a lot more expensive. These, everywhere you get them, are like $7.49 a package for only 10. But what I'll do is I'll buy 2 packets, and 10 of them I'll wacky set up, and the other 10 I'll leave for whatever I want to Texas rig or whatever I want to do with them. So that's how that works, and that's pretty good. And then I'll put them all back in the bag. So again, you're going to use a shrink tube. It's pretty good. That's all you have to do. And cut them up, set them up. The only reason why I did that is because, you know, when you're going out there and you're buying all your fishing supplies, just the basic maintenance of your equipment and your boat, if you have one, can get right up there. So I kind of like trying to figure out ways to save money, to make the fishing more enjoyable, and if it's less expensive, it's going to be more enjoyable, I think. And you know, if you're going to use these O-rings, which are great because I still keep them in my tackle box for reasons where there's maybe not a typical color that I usually like to use, but I want to try wacky in it. I'll keep them on there, or if I run out of a color, I can do it right on the boat, and I don't have to worry about getting fire on the boat. But keep it in mind. You might want to try it. It works really well. You don't lose worms, and while that worm is, while that fish is sucking up that worm, you will have a better chance of not the worm slipping off and not losing that fish. You have a great one. Bye bye.